Well, it appears that along with peeing the rest of the country off, Keir Starmer has unfortunately for him got himself into a bit of bother with the House of Lords. And they are apparently pushing for a new law which would, so we say, spill the beans on judges' decisions. Basically, these senior peers want first-tier immigration tribunals to share their rulings on whether foreign criminals and rejected asylum seekers should stick around in the UK. They reckon this transparency will keep judges on their toes and make sure they're doing their jobs right, especially, of course, after some controversial cases where human rights were unfortunately put before public safety, it seemed. Apparently, the Telegraph has been giving people some examples of this, like one where a tribunal let an Albanian criminal stay because his 10-year-old son didn't like foreign chicken nuggets. It's absolutely crazy, isn't it? And that only came out because the upper tribunal overturned it and shared their decision. And quite right too, that guy should not be allowed to stay in the UK, no matter what his son likes or not. At the end of the day, if he's a foreign criminal, then surely he should be deported back to at least the safe country of France or wherever he came from, surely. But now Labour, Reform and the Conservatives are all talking about shaking up the asylum appeals system and maybe even ditching or changing the European Convention on Human Rights. I personally think ditching it is the only way, along with, of course, reform, and now the Conservatives are also saying that. So hopefully, whether Labour like it or not, we should be seeing an end to it pretty soon, because they're more than likely going to have to cave in to the political pressure that will be more than likely put upon them, surely. And remember, often the ECHR is what migrants appear to use to fight their removal from our country. Lord Murray, a former Home Office minister, is apparently leading the charge with these amendments, and also he's got the backing of the Tory party and the Liberal Democrats. They all want a first tribunal judgment to be posted on a government website within 3 days, just like the upper tribunals do. Supporters also think that this idea might just get the big thumbs up from the House of Lords when they vote at the end of the month, even though, of course, the government is trying to keep things as they are. But just think, if this never came out that that was the reason why that guy was allowed to stay because of his son's chicken nugget phobia, we wouldn't have known anything about it. And the more cases that we hear about this, and the more stupid reasons, the more likely it is that the ECHR is bound to be scrapped, in my opinion. And Lord Murray argues that there is no good reasons not to publish these decisions, especially since the public is really interested in them. He even quoted Baroness Hale, the former Supreme Court President. Remember that lady with the spider, who, if I remember rightly, thought that prorogue in Parliament was illegal when, let's face it, I'm pretty sure it had been done for hundreds and hundreds of years. But anyway, that aside, she said that open justice is key to holding judges accountable and making sure the public trusts them. Other courts dealing with tax, property and land and employment cases already publish their decisions, even though they handle fewer cases. And first-tier immigration tribunals have been dealing with a whopping 38,000 to 41,000 appeals each year for the past 3 years, according to Lord Murray. He also wasn't finished there. He pointed out that publishing these decisions would let journalists and researchers dig into how judges actually make their decisions and even check if judges are being biased or always saying no to cases. They reckon it's all about fairness and transparency. Other supporters, including Lord Foulkes, a former Justice Minister, Lord Sandhurst, and a Tory whip, and Lord Elton, a veteran Liberal Democrat peer. Lord Sandhurst is worried that the Human Rights Act is making our courts change UK laws to fit the ever-changing ideas from Strasbourg, which is a massive problem, isn't it? When will these guys realise we have left the EU? We now have a right to do things our way, the UK way, whether they like it or not. And the world is much bigger than the EU, whether they like it or not. And not only that, but he also thinks it's a real threat to our national security and sovereignty, and I personally think he's right. He insists that transparency in these court decisions is a must. On the flip side, of course, you got the lefties, like Lord Kratz from Labour, says it is up to the judiciary to decide if they want to publish individual judgments, and the government doesn't think it's necessary to change the law. Well, there's no surprise he thinks that. He also mentioned that the public and media can still ask the first tier tribunal for a decision, but Lord Sandhurst pointed out that they can't do that if they don't know the case name, which, yes, is a good point. Labour had its own plan to reduce the current tribunals with a new system of professional adjudicators to cut down on appeals and speed things up. Let me guess, these professional adjudicators have also got another name, box tickers, because that's probably what they will do, and give every one of them a big green tick, although admittedly I could be wrong. But anyway, what do you all think about this? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll be back very soon with some more videos, so make sure you click that subscribe button down there so you don't miss my next one.